Stop, mind. I want to get off. Stop the world. Want to get off was a thought-provoking, insightful, and delightfully entertaining Broadway musical in the mid-60s about a man who, each time something unsatisfactory would happen in his life, he would shout out, "Stop the world," and his world would literally stop. The main character could pause life at will and just sit in stillness and rest until he was able and ready to throw himself back into the hamster wheel of life. The musical was recently played back to me as a metaphor for my thoughts through a profound lesson and somewhat magical experience cross-country skiing one cold winter's day recently. On the morning in question, I rose before sunrise, had my breakfast, donned my ski clothing and equipment, hopped in a car. Oh, and what a blessing it was to be loaned a car for the day. And I drove out to a popular destination for cross-country skiing. As the sun started peaking above the horizon, the mist and rising, freezing humidity blanketed the trees with a glossy covering of ice. The previous day's virgin snowfall gently blanketed the branches and cast a magical spell over the landscape. I arrived in the parking lot just as the birds started their morning merriment, and noted that a gauge on the car's dashboard indicated it was minus 21 degrees Celsius outside. I remember thinking, oh boy, minus 21. That's going to be cold. But my excitement of cutting tracks in newly fallen snow as I ventured off into the forest was just too alluring. So, sporting my hat, mittens, and other attire designed to keep me warm and dry, I set off for my adventure. What greeted me was nothing short of breathtaking. The cold, crisp air was intoxicating, and the symphonic crunching of snow beneath my skis was both hypnotic and invigorating. The trails were pristine. The sun burst through the tall stands of deciduous and coniferous trees and cast laser-like beams of light across the snow as the rays filled my body, my heart, and soul with hope and joy. As I skied on, I was reminded that a few days earlier there had been a major ice storm in the region. And as the ice adhered and accumulated on the trees, many branches started to bend from the weight of the ice. In extreme cases, the tree would be contorted into an almost perfect arch. Some trees, however, simply could not withstand the weight of the ice and broke, laying themselves across the trails. Along some sections of the trails, the forest floor was strewn with broken branches and debris from fallen trees, and sometimes the fallen branches and debris created an obstruction on the trails that one had to traverse and circumnavigate the natural barrier to get around the fallen debris. But I welcomed these unexpected veerings off as part of the grand adventure for the day. It only added to my joy. At a point in my skiing odyssey, I realized I had not thought much about what the conditions on the day might have been like, in light of the ice storm that had only happened a few days earlier. Had I thought about the effects of the ice storm, I would not have gone out for the day. My thoughts would have prevented me from going. If I had allowed my thoughts about the ice storm to populate my mind, I would have realized that debris would be all over the place and some trees would have fallen and possibly blocked the trails. I would have allowed my thoughts to race and build to a crescendo of negativity and result in my deciding not to go skiing. But on this particular day, I'm glad I simply said, "Stop, mind. I want to get off." I simply did not think about any obstacles to my day. It wasn't that I ignored the previous day's weather and ice deposits. I simply chose to go anyway. I was conscious of the possibility of forced debris and downed trees that lay ahead of me, but I chose to go anyway. Frankly, I didn't give it much thought. What I did think about was the joy of rising before sunrise, driving outside of the city into nature, feeling the fresh air in my lungs, feeling the wind on my face, hearing the sounds of my skis on the snow, hearing the sounds of the trees creaking as they symbiotically swayed with the wind. I allowed my mind to rest and allowed nature to reveal its splendor to me. May you welcome your mind to rest from time to time. It's the greatest gift you may ever give yourself.